Check out this classic 1982 Harley Davidson XL1000. This is my favorite, all-time favorite Harley Davidson engine as far as the profile and look of it. If you look at it from this side right here, straight on from the air cleaner, to me, if you close your eyes and think Harley Davidson, that's what I see. And when you idle it, you hear that potato, potato, potato. It makes that sound that only a carbureted iron head, shovel head, or pan head would make. We all know the knuckles and the pans are priced out of this world. They're all bringing 25,000 plus. Most people can't afford those anymore, if you can even find one. The knuckles are 50 and up, the pans are 25 and up. So now the iron heads have become the one Harley that's sort of affordable to buy an antique and restore it. Now this is a same basic engine configuration as the 57 Sportster V-twin. It is dual exhaust, single carb, very similar setup to what it originally was. The main difference is this frame has been modernized. It has the rear tailpiece on it has all been changed. The shocks, the swing arm, all that is from the 1982 era. So this bike right here actually was owned by a good friend of ours, Ray Rosa, out of the Bronx, New York. You might remember the video where he was deciding to move out of the Bronx. And if you search through our videos for Mr. Kim was a shop owner in the Bronx who had rebuilt this motor for Ray Rosa. So we took a borescope, pulled the plugs out, looked inside, and confirmed what Ray had said. The pistons are brand new. There was no carbon on it. It had never been run, or if it was run, just briefly. New pistons, new rings, new base gasket, new head gasket, new exhaust gaskets, new intake gaskets, and I got a whole work order here that I'll go over in a second, but I wanted to go over that first. The engine was rebuilt by Mr. Kim, who was
the whole valve train is all new. There's zero carbon in the intake.
Yep,
exhaust,
valve seats, everything. So you've got an awesome starting point here for a cool custom classic. They did paint the frame to match the tins. Has a set of the low Sportster bars on here. Original front end's in good condition. That's been chromed. You can see the front wheels chromed. Lots of chrome on the bike. It's got a Lepera saddle on there. The original front and rear fenders are intact, as is the peanut gas tank. Let me go over the work order with you quickly. You also can see it has a new chain of sprockets on it, chrome chain guard. Iconic classic, unmodified from its original configuration. 4-speed, 1000cc overhead valve Milwaukee Cruiser. Last of the iron head motors. They went to a Evolution motor in '84. Lots of torque, 55 horsepower, lightweight, 529 pounds. They've turned these into cafe racers and hill climbers and drag racers, and parts are plentiful, and very few of them exist in this unmodified state like this one does. Other than the paint, it's mostly original. Good condition, well taken care of. Again, the motor's brand new on the bike, just been rebuilt. And then on top of that, which probably cost them a couple of grand to have that work done, then we put another $3,400 in the parts and labor on it here. We did quite a bit to it. It's not finished. It does still need some work, but I'll tell you all the good news first. New spark plug. The compression tested 140 PSI, perfect front and rear because it's all brand new. We changed the oil a second time with new 2050. The carburetor was disassembled, clean and adjusted. Idles beautifully. It has a new carb rebuild kit. It's got non-ethanol fuel in it. The tank was cleaned out. Gas tank was cleaned out and running it on non-ethanol fuel. The points were adjusted and set. Has a brand new Yuasa battery and tender lead, new ignition switch assembly, new intake seals and clamps, new rear brake light switch. We rebuilt the rear brake caliper, new front brake line and fittings. We flushed the brakes, added new fluid and bled. Replaced the handlebar riser assembly, replaced the handlebars and grips with these more sporty, period correct Sportster bars. Installed the side stand block on it, and I'll talk about that in a second, because you can see we in an attempt to extend the side stand because it's up. There's an issue with where it mounts. I'll go over that in a minute at the end. Gave it a full 100-point check. We steam cleaned it, washed it, degreased it, polished it, and waxed it pretty much to perfection. There's very little dirt or grease on this bike from top to bottom. It's been cleaned by our detail shop, given what we call a rotisserie detail. We polished the engine cases, the exhaust, the wheels, the forks, all the chrome. Buffed and polished the fuel tank and the tins. Touched up all the cycle parts where needed. Just a well-preserved original classic. Again, Lepera saddle, chrome sprocket, new chain, chrome covers on the motor, chrome cover on the brake. The fork lowers have been chromed. The headlight bucket cover is chromed. The entire primary on this side here has been chromed. It's got a chrome V-twin Milwaukee with the gold logo cover on the battery. It does have the passenger pegs. We did set it up with a battery charger on there. The rear tire and front tire were replaced by Mr. Kim some time ago. He's passed away since then. If you watch the videos, you know we were at his shop before he passed away. I believe the date codes on these tires are about 10 years old. Can you confirm that for me, Kenny? I know the tread on them, looks brand new. I believe the tires were done, 2005. September of 2005, so is a date code. So they're 17 years old. And you can see they still have the hairy nubs on the front and the hairy nubs on the back. This is a brand new rear tire. So it has new tires on it, but they're 17 years old. So there'll be a little bit of dry checking on them, but I'd ride them. I just wouldn't go racing with them. But if you wanted to make the bike perfect, it does still need a few things. The wiring harness needs to be replaced. You can buy a complete wiring harness for this. The charging system's not working, so the battery, although it has a new battery, it only runs for a few minutes and then the battery dies. So the battery's not getting charging. So the charging system and the wiring system, and you'd be pretty much good to go. I think, one other thing, the kickstand, it's on a block because the kickstand mount, and I'm gonna lean it over so you can zoom in and see it. That section needs to go to a welding shop and that needs to be welded back on properly. So, Junior, you'd like to add anything about this iron head?
Yeah, the frame has a New York inspection station custom VIN number. I believe it was a salvage prior to Mr. Kim obtaining it, and he had retitled it with the New York VIN. So we do have a clear title document signed over from Mr. Kim, but that's the story. What we have here is a just fantastic engine that could be transplanted into another bike, and I mean, man.
It's a super smooth running iron head motor, and trust me, I've had lots of iron heads. One of my favorite bikes is the first one when you walk in our showroom. I've got a 77 XLCR iron head, 5 years older than this. That's probably my prized possession of all my bikes is my 77 Cafe Racer.
The bike would be worth a fortune in parts if you were to part. It would be sort of a crime to do that. We were toying with the idea of swapping the frame into a good, clean chassis because the rest of the bike is all there and it's tremendous.
I would only do that if you had an issue with having the salvage title and salvage the VIN from the New York DMV. If that doesn't bother you, which it wouldn't bother me at all, I would just weld the frame mount on the bottom where the kickstand, I'd re-weld that, maybe pull the motor, sandblast the frame and paint it and re-weld that and get it perfect. And the heavy lifting's been done. The motor's completely rebuilt.
Let me cut you off just to be clear. So the bike has a clear title. The VIN was reissued. It was re-stamped using Mr. Kim's New York inspection station, so it is an NY custom VIN. We do have a clear New York title in Mr. Kim's name. The bike is free and clear. I'm not sure the story on that, but the paperwork is all in order on the bike.
This is the larger of the two tanks they had that year. They had a little peanut tank. This one's a little bit bigger, and king tank, I guess they call it. Super cool profile. Brand new, freshly rebuilt top end with probably 75 miles on it now because Lance and I have been riding it around trying to figure out the charging issues and everything. So if you have any questions about it, give us a call. Thanks for watching. God bless Harley Davidson. God bless America.